Afternoon, PA Figs here. It's a bit windy out, so the tripod's not going to hold the camera real steady. But I wanted to show you guys some root pruning. So I've got a couple trees that I've had for a few years now. They're starting to get root bound in their pots. And I don't want to up-pot them, so it's time to root prune them. The first one's in a 5-gallon sip, and I'm going to show you the first way to do something like this, which is to take the entire tree out, root prune it, and then put it back in. We're going to take off about a half, or maybe even less than that, maybe a third of the bottom and about a third of the sides of the root ball, and then put it back in. So let's get started. See the root mass down here. It's definitely time to root prune this. Now the hard part is going to be actually getting it out of the pot. So I'm going to have to cut all of these off in order to budge this thing. See, this is just totally root bound. See if I can get them with a razor blade. Teresa, can you help me for a second? I need you to hold that pot while I pull. Okay. Watch out. Oh yeah. Fill tube. Holding most of the stuff in, but alright. See, I got that out. And you can see, in fact, it is pretty much solid roots. Let me show you close up. Alright, so you can see it's time to root prune. Mostly feeder roots. Surprisingly, there's no real solid anchorage roots, whatever they're called, but you can see it's used up all of the mass, and the roots at the bottom especially are starting to circle themselves. So it's time to root prune this. So in the past I would have trimmed this all by hand, but that gets pretty tiring. So this year I'm going to use a root pruning blade that I got off of eBay. It's sharp as could be, so it should work pretty well. I should have gloves on, should have glasses on. Being lazy, don't do this at home. Alright, so I'm going to take off a good majority of this root mass here. And I'm going to take off part of the sides too. Roots were concentrated down at the bottom. It's hard to tell, but this is pretty solid. It's all been broken down, and it's just all roots down here. It's a solid plug of roots. Really not much good, not much nutrients coming out of that soil anymore at this point. Up further, it's kind of the same. It's just all one big root mass. Here's the sides. You can see the sides weren't as bad, but here's some of those thicker anchorage roots that I was telling you about. And it's not terrible, but it's not great either. So we'll get this up potted again and get some fresh soil in it. See, here's what's left. I'll cut this all off. So gives it about 30% more room to grow for next year, and hopefully the plant will award me with lots of fruit.